My partner 34 male wants me 29 female to get a job or else I have to leave. What can I do? Let me explain. My partner 34 meters has given me 29F an ultimatum. Either I find a job or leave within 3 months. My problem is I'm sham. An agreement we both made a while ago, to 6F and 4 female, one of which is special needs and can only be in school 3 hours a day. For long list a reason but not relevant, we have no one to watch our kids. My youngest is still not in school and doesn't qualify for preschool. We have no family near us either. Before I became a sham I worked, but it was basically to pay for daycare expenses, which was one of the reason I became sham. I do want to add I do all the cleaning, cooking and taking care of our kids. I've looked for remote jobs but I don't have degrees for those kinds of job. I'm just asking what can I do? Should I be worried? Because it feels a bit out of left field. I was planning on working once my youngest was in school. How was this out of left field when you posted this a year ago? In the time that has passed since that post, what steps have you taken to find out what rights you have as the children's mother? Have you spoken to a lawyer or done any research on resources for women in your situation? Why is he suddenly demanding you return to work? What's his plan if you don't? What is his plan? You leave with the kids and he pays child support? You leave and he stays with the kids? Who will look after them? Either way, his situation is not getting much better than it is now. Why does he want you to get a job when you do all the chores and look after the kids? Your post history is so concerning. You had 2 kids with a guy who won't marry you and threatens you. Why are you in this situation? You're not married? Whose name is the house under? Flushed. My 27F boyfriend, 26M, won't stop showing me his poop. Basically, I do not know where to go, so I'm counting on Reddit to give me some sort of advice here. The title basically, my boyfriend and I have been dating for a year. He has, I'm pretty certain though I'm not a doctor, some OCD-like tendencies and he's a total hypochondriac. But he hates going to the doctor. So he will just ruminate on these thoughts that something is wrong with him with minimal coping methods, besides chilling out and playing games. He felt a soreness around his shoulder, neck once after sleeping in the car and was convinced it was a cyst on his lymph node and was spiraling about that all day on our mini vacation until he slept better on a real bed and woke up normal. He is still convinced he has a cyst or tumor in his neck by the way and still won't see the doctor. So, that is some context. Months ago, about 1/3 of the time he poops, he is convinced there's something wrong with it and shows me if I'm at home. He usually won't send me pics when I'm away but has before. The poop looks totally normal by the way. His complaints are very long and snake-like, like bunny pellets, very dark. What is that? Do you see that? It looks like some white stuff on it. It differs every time. He doesn't have a very consistent diet, eating pattern and is pretty adventurous in the kitchen, which in my opinion explains the inconsistency. Both he and I have the Bristol stool chart memorized at this point, me unwillingly. So we'll say he had a 6 today, etc. I am disgusted every single time he calls me to the bathroom and this ends in some sort of argument on me telling him, I'm not a doctor, why don't you go? He knows this upsets me and still calls me and like, okay, but seriously. Does this not look weird to you? I know what you're going to say but take me seriously. But I can't anymore. It's been happening more and more frequently lately. I get anxious every time he cooks because I know he's going to show me it later after it processes. The final straw was at Mother's Day dinner. We are having breakfast with my mom, and he excuses himself to the bathroom. I look up from eating and see him in the hallway leading towards the bathroom. He is like flagging me down and like beckoning me to go to him. So many people saw and looked at us. My poor mother was like, oh, what is it? It must be important. I did not get up. I knew what it was. And he threw his hands down and walked back into the bathroom. A minute later, he is back at the table and slides his phone onto my lap. He had diarrhea in the restaurant bathroom and decided to show me. While I am eating. I was pissed and gave his phone back to him and it was tense and awkward the rest of the dinner and basically ruined it. So I spent the night at my mom's house. I haven't told her what's wrong but she knows there's something going on. He is concerned he has an infection, due to mucus being in his stool on occasion, or colon cancer. Or a few other things I can't remember off the top of my head. Besides this, he is totally normal and I love him. We play games together, watch shows, and plan on settling down in a different state when I'm done with my degree here. We were friends for like a decade before getting together. I don't want to break up, but I feel so done. How do I get him to stop making me look at his poop and go to the doctor to confirm or deny his theories? Forgive me, I'm not trying to be obtuse, but nowhere in this long, gross post do I see you mention that you've told him to stop. Have you told him to stop? Full on, I do not want to see your poop ever again. Do not send me photos. Do not beckon me to the restroom. If you think there's a problem, call a doctor. I am not one. This is disgusting to me. Stop. Maybe I'm just a prude, but I'd have bounced after the first turd introduction. I'd be unable to view him as sexually desirable any longer. If you want to stay with him, try asking his mom about this weird behavior. Gotta get it handled. You set a boundary and enforce consequences when it's violated. I will not look at your poop. If you try to get me to, I will leave for the night. If you need someone to look at your stool, get the opinion of an online doctor. Plenty of services available that will give you a qualified opinion on your very normal stool. Say you won't indulge it, ever. If he requires an opinion on his shit, he gets it from someone else. This is not normal. You should really see a doctor, as the consistent response. Then when he's, do you think it's, underscore, 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 underscore. You can be like, I can't say. I'm not a doctor but I'm worried about you and I wish you'd go. I can make the appointment for you if you want, and find him a general practitioner who can schedule him for both a gastroenterologist and a therapist if necessary, since it seems like he might have moderately severe hypochondria. You keep showing me your shit and I'm not tolerating it anymore. We're breaking up so I can date someone who prioritizes his health and isn't afraid to see a doctor and also doesn't show me his shit. Have a nice life. Block and move on. Seriously, the bar is in hell, sis. Please break up with this weirdo. Also, a dude not understanding boundaries to this degree and completely disregarding your discomfort this way dances the line of emotional abuse. You need to break up with him. He isn't ready to be in a relationship. He refuses to take care of himself physically or mentally and is now affecting your mental health. Enough already, girl. Come on. What the heck is going on with all of the people's partners' disgusting poop stories? And why aren't these people immediately ending their relationships with these gross people instead of coming to Reddit to ask for advice? I would have dipped after the first incident. Boyfriend, 25M, called me, 24F, fatty, as a joke and I can't stop thinking about it. My boyfriend called me, fatty, as a joke, and even though he apologized right after, I can't stop thinking about it. I was about to eat ice cream and jokingly stabbed it with my spoon because it was frozen solid. He said something like, just wait, fatty. As soon as I heard, fatty, everything else faded out. We've been together 2 years and have never joked about appearance, weight, or health. I'm 4 feet 11 inches and 117 pounds, not fat, just have a little stomach. I've dealt with digestive issues for years and recently gained 10 pounds after being put on mirtazapine, for anxiety, which no one told me was also an appetite stimulant. It felt like I wasn't in control of my body or hunger. I'm no longer on it. Growing up, my mom and sister were both super thin, and I was constantly compared to them. Even at 80 pounds as a kid, I thought I was fat. My mom made comments about my weight that stuck with me, and I've struggled with body image most of my life. As an adult, I've worked hard not to let it hold me back. But now, after this comment, I feel hurt, insecure, and kind of betrayed. I don't even want to be naked in front of him or have sex right now. I keep wondering if he actually sees me as fat or is less attracted to me. What makes it worse is that I actively work on my body and health despite my GI issues. He, on the other hand, is naturally skinny and puts in zero effort, and I've never criticized him for it. I told him, at least I try to work on my body, because I really do. He could put on a few pounds, but I've never said that to him. How do I move past this? How do I get these thoughts out of my head? It feels like something that can't be taken back. Sure, he apologized, but how do I stop wondering if that's how he really feels deep down? I totally get why this hurt your feelings, and why it upset you. Your partner does too, hence the apology. I don't think there is anything behind it. Sincerely, I really think in his mind it was a simple joke about being too eager to eat. Like how you might call someone running into the library, nerd, or say, yes ma'am, while saluting someone that's being bossy. I don't think it's indicative of how he thinks about you, unless you have evidence to say otherwise. I'm 31, and still trying to shed some of my insecurity to make it less my partner's problem. So I say this with absolute grace and empathy. Don't let yourself obsess over unintentional missteps by people that otherwise love you. Don't let the insecurity spiral you into harming something that's otherwise going well. Oh my goodness, it's just awful how one little comment, even if meant playfully, can completely unravel a person's feelings and make them question everything about their relationship. Like, lol, silly me. I really get it, because sometimes you just feel so exposed and insecure, and it's like, is he really thinking that deep down? It's a tough spot to be in, and it makes you wonder if you're truly seen and appreciated, and I guess that's a valid thing to feel, and it's really reasonable to want someone who makes you feel loved and secure, and maybe it's a sign you need to be extra careful. I am a fat woman and my husband has done this kind of stupid thing before. We talked about it and he explained that he meant fat in spirit, like Augustus Gloop, and had nothing to do with my actual body. And I explained to him that I do not like it, and he said okay and hasn't since. Talk it out, girl. And maybe look for a therapist who specializes in dysmorphia. Honestly, that's such a passing joking comment made in jest, and sincerely apologized for can send you into a spiral like this is not normal. Sure, some people are more sensitive than others, and I get that you felt a bit hurt in the moment, but if this is that big a deal to you in an otherwise healthy relationship, I think this is something you might have to work through in therapy. One comment in 2 years should not be sending you like this, especially after an apology. The comments saying break up must have never been in a serious relationship. If this is the worst thing you have had to deal with in 2 years, you're doing better than most. Lol. Guys often forget that they can't talk and joke with women the way they harmlessly and affectionately joke with each other. People are being dicks. It's okay to be hurt by this. Talk to him about it. How do I, M23, peacefully get my wife, F23, to understand our current financial situation? I'm an apprentice electrician and I work full-time, and my wife is in beauty school currently. I was laid off recently from a company that was paying me a lot of money, and I'm working again, but I'm making significantly less than before. Her school costs are around $300, $350 a week, and I'm making $900 a week. Keeping up with essential bills and buying what we need to survive has been difficult. Thankfully, I have a credit card with a $6,000 limit so that I can get what we need even if I don't have the money right now. My wife doesn't see the credit card the same. If there's over $1,000 in available credit, she sees that as having plenty of money, even though I can still have $5,000 owed on that card. Every time I talk to her about it, she says she's not shopping much anymore, which is true, but that's not the issue. The issue is that she's buying stuff that we don't have the extra money for. Extra toys and beds for the animals, decorative stuff for the house that we didn't need, name brand food and specialty food from the grocery store, random fast food snacks, etc. I have cut my spending down as low as I can get it. I barely buy anything for myself. I cut out all subscriptions except for one that we both use. I found ways to significantly lower my food expenses to $40 a week for myself. I cover all the expenses, and just the amount that we have to spend on bills and what we need to survive for the month is nearly as much as I make in a month. Her parents and her friends have all told me that I need to shut off her credit card, and I have contemplated it, but I'm not sure what to do about her reaction in that situation. She has said before to me and in front of friends and family that she would crash out if I did that. Half joking, half serious, I'm really not sure. She's jokingly said she'd do some crazy shit before over other issues. Time to put it to the test. If she's going to crash out, every time she is faced with reality, life will be rough. She needs a prepaid debit card preloaded with her monthly allowance. In fact, do it for the both of you. Revolving debt is only an invitation for deeper debt in the long run. The answer is to shut off any credit cards, or at least close off her access to any credit cards that are under your name. Her reaction to this is going to be a good tell on whether you want to continue a life with someone who can't see and support you with this financial stress. Simply tell her you have no other choice, you love her, and that one day, things will be more manageable, but for now, this needs to be done. Answer is your wife gets a job. Unless she's also taking care of your young children, she should be working and contributing to your household finances. And yes, she can study full-time and work part-time too. Her parents told you to cut her off school. If she wants to buy stuff, she needs to start working. Lots of people work while they're in school. Why is her school $350 a week?